What if I told you that every single financial struggle you've ever faced has absolutely nothing to do with your circumstances, your education, or even your work ethic? What if the real reason money seems to slip through your fingers like sand is because you've been unconsciously broadcasting the wrong signal to the universe every single day of your life? What if there's a hidden frequency that wealthy people operate on? A secret wavelength that draws abundance like a powerful magnet? While most people remain completely unaware, they're even transmitting anything at all. What if changing just one thing about how your mind operates could transform your entire financial reality within weeks? What if I told you that money doesn't care about your past, your mistakes, or your current bank balance, but responds only to the energetic signature you carry within your consciousness? These aren't just provocative questions designed to capture your attention. These are the fundamental truths that Napoleon Hill discovered after studying over 500 of the wealthiest individuals in America. Truths that he embedded throughout his masterwork, Think and Grow Rich. Yet most readers miss entirely because they're looking for tactics instead of transformation. Hill understood something that modern society has forgotten. Wealth is not an external acquisition, but an internal alignment. The Bible itself speaks to this profound truth in Proverbs 23:7. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Your thoughts are not mere mental chatter. They are creative forces that shape your reality at the most fundamental level. Every morning when you wake up, your mind immediately begins transmitting a specific frequency based on your dominant thoughts, beliefs, and emotional patterns. This frequency operates like a radio signal, constantly broadcasting to the universe what you expect, what you believe you deserve, and what you're prepared to receive. Most people have been unconsciously programmed from childhood to broadcast on the frequency of limitation, scarcity, and struggle. And they learned this not through formal education, but through repeated exposure to poverty consciousness disguised as wisdom. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Rich people are greedy. You have to work hard for every penny. But here's what Napoleon Hill discovered that changed everything. Wealthy individuals operate on an entirely different frequency. They don't think about money the way poor people do. They don't relate to opportunity the way average people do. They don't process setbacks the way struggling individuals do. Their minds have been calibrated to a wealth frequency that automatically attracts abundance, opportunities, and financial success. This isn't mystical nonsense. This is the practical application of mental science that Hill documented through decades of research. Consider this startling reality. Two people can live in the same neighborhood, attend the same schools, even work at the same company, yet one will consistently attract prosperity while the other perpetually struggles financially. The external circumstances are nearly identical, yet the outcomes are dramatically different. Why? Because one person's mind operates on the wealth frequency while the other remains trapped in poverty consciousness. The wealthy person's thoughts, beliefs, and emotional patterns create a magnetic field that draws opportunity, while the struggling person's mental programming repels the very abundance they claim to desire. The transformation begins the moment you understand that your current financial situation is not a reflection of your worth, your intelligence, or your potential. It's simply the external manifestation of your internal frequency. When Napoleon Hill wrote, "Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve," he wasn't speaking metaphorically. He was describing the mechanical process by which consciousness creates reality. Your beliefs create your thoughts create your emotions drive your actions, and your actions produce your results. Change the frequency at the source, and everything downstream transforms automatically. Most people approach financial improvement backwards. They try to change their actions while their mind remains locked in poverty consciousness. They work harder, learn new skills, even change careers, but they continue to think like poor people, feel like poor people, and make decisions from a mindset of scarcity. No external change can overcome internal resistance. It's like trying to tune into a classical music station while your radio remains set to static. You might turn up the volume, adjust the antenna, even buy a better radio, but until you change the frequency, you'll never hear the music. The Bible teaches us in Romans 12:2, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind." This isn't spiritual advice. It's practical instruction for accessing abundance. Your mind is the control center for your entire life experience. When you renew your mind, when you shift from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness, when you tune into the frequency that successful people operate on, everything changes. Not because the external world is different, but because you are different. You begin to see opportunities that were always present but invisible to your old frequency. You start making decisions that were impossible from your previous mindset. You naturally attract people, circumstances, and resources that align with your new internal vibration. This transformation doesn't require years of therapy or complex personal development programs. It requires understanding how your mind actually works and then consciously choosing to operate from a different frequency. Every wealthy person that Napoleon Hill studied had mastered this fundamental principle, whether they understood it consciously or not. They thought differently, believed differently, and therefore experienced life differently. They didn't just have money, they had developed what Hill called a money consciousness, a way of thinking that made financial success inevitable rather than accidental. The journey from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness begins with a profound recognition. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are the creator of your experience through the power of your dominant thoughts. Napoleon Hill spent his entire career documenting this principle because he witnessed its transformative power in the lives of America's most successful individuals. Andrew Carnegie didn't become wealthy by accident. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize industry through luck. John D. Rockefeller didn't build an empire through chance. Each of these men had developed what Hill called definiteness of purpose, backed by unwavering faith in their ability to achieve their objectives. Your mind operates like a sophisticated broadcasting station, constantly transmitting signals that attract experiences matching your internal frequency. When you wake up thinking thoughts of lack, limitation, and struggle, you're literally broadcasting an invitation for more of the same. When you spend your day focused on what you don't have, what you can't afford, and what you're afraid of losing, you're programming your subconscious mind to seek evidence that supports these limiting beliefs. Your reticular activating system, the part of your brain responsible for filtering information, begins highlighting every piece of data that confirms your poverty consciousness while filtering out opportunities and possibilities that could change your life. But when you shift your mental frequency to abundance, when you begin thinking like wealthy people think, your entire perceptual field transforms. Suddenly you notice opportunities that were always present but previously invisible. You start recognizing patterns that successful people follow. You begin attracting mentors, partners, and resources that align with your new mindset. This isn't magic. This is the natural result of tuning your consciousness to a different station. As Jesus taught in Matthew 7:7, "Seek and you shall find." When you seek abundance with your mind properly programmed, the universe responds by showing you pathways to wealth that were always available. The most crucial understanding is that wealth consciousness is not about positive thinking or affirmations. It's about fundamentally changing how you process information, make decisions, and respond to challenges. Wealthy people don't just think positively, they think differently. They see problems as opportunities for profit. They view setbacks as valuable feedback. They treat rejection as redirection toward better possibilities. Their minds have been programmed to extract value from every experience, to find advantage in apparent disadvantage, to create opportunity where others see only obstacles. This mental programming didn't happen by accident. Successful individuals have either consciously or unconsciously adopted thought patterns that support wealth creation. They think long-term rather than short-term. They focus on value creation rather than money extraction. They operate from abundance rather than scarcity. They make decisions based on potential rather than current limitations. These aren't personality traits. These are learned mental habits that anyone can develop through conscious practice and repetition. The transformation process requires 3 fundamental shifts in your mental programming. First, you must replace poverty consciousness with prosperity consciousness by deliberately choosing thoughts that align with abundance rather than lack. Second, you must develop what Napoleon Hill called burning desire, a level of commitment to your financial goals that makes success inevitable rather than possible. Third, you must cultivate unwavering faith in your ability to achieve your objectives, regardless of current circumstances or past failures. These shifts don't happen overnight, but they can happen remarkably quickly when you understand the mechanics involved. Your subconscious mind cannot distinguish between real and imagined experiences. When you consistently visualize yourself living in abundance, making wise financial decisions, and enjoying the freedom that wealth provides, your subconscious begins programming your behavior to make these visions reality. When you repeatedly affirm your worthiness to receive wealth, your self-concept expands to accommodate greater financial success. When you study successful people and mentally rehearse their strategies, you begin developing the neural pathways that support wealth creation. Every millionaire that Napoleon Hill interviewed had mastered this internal transformation before achieving external success. They understood that becoming wealthy on the inside was the prerequisite for becoming wealthy on the outside. They developed what Hill called money consciousness by thinking about money differently than poor people think about money. While poor people think about money as something external to pursue, wealthy people understand money as something internal to express. While poor people see money as limited and hard to obtain, wealthy people recognize money as abundant and naturally attracted to value creation. While poor people feel guilty about wanting wealth, wealthy people understand that financial success enables greater service to others. This internal shift creates what psychologists call cognitive dissonance between your new wealth consciousness and your current financial reality. Your mind naturally seeks to resolve this dissonance by changing your external circumstances to match your internal beliefs. You begin noticing opportunities you previously overlooked. You start taking actions that were impossible from your old mindset. You naturally attract people and situations that support your new financial identity. The external world hasn't changed. Your perception of it has been transformed through the power of renewed consciousness. Before we continue exploring these life-changing principles, I want to pause and acknowledge something profound that's happening right now. You're not here by accident. The fact that you're investing your precious time to understand these principles tells me something important about who you are. You're someone who refuses to accept financial limitation as permanent. You're someone willing to look beyond surface-level solutions to discover real transformation. You're part of a special group of people who understand that true change happens from the inside out. If this message is resonating with your spirit, if you feel that stirring of possibility in your heart, I want you to know that you're exactly where you need to be. This isn't just another video. This is your invitation to step into a new level of financial consciousness. Take a moment right now to subscribe to this channel, not just as a casual viewer, but as someone committed to your own transformation. Share this message with others who need to hear these truths. Let me know in the comments what insights are hitting you the deepest, because your breakthroughs inspire others to believe in their own possibilities. The Bible tells us in Philippians 4:19, "And my God will meet all your needs according to the riches of his glory in Christ Jesus." This promise isn't conditional on your past mistakes, your current circumstances, or your educational background. It's a guarantee based on divine abundance that flows through minds aligned with prosperity consciousness. Napoleon Hill discovered this same principle through his secular research, finding that individuals who develop unwavering faith in their ability to create wealth inevitably manifest the resources necessary to fulfill their vision. The most transformative realization you can have is understanding that money is not something you chase. Money is something you become worthy of receiving through the development of your consciousness. Poor people exhaust themselves pursuing money, while wealthy people invest their energy becoming the kind of person money naturally gravitates toward. This distinction is crucial because it determines whether your financial success will be temporary or permanent, accidental or inevitable, stressful or effortless. When you operate from poverty consciousness, you approach money from a position of neediness and desperation. You make decisions based on fear of loss rather than excitement about gain. You negotiate from weakness rather than strength. You think in terms of scarcity rather than abundance. This energy repels money because wealthy people and lucrative opportunities are drawn to confidence, vision, and value creation, not desperation and need. As Proverbs 21:5 teaches us, "The plans of the diligent lead to profit as surely as haste leads to poverty." Conversely, when you develop wealth consciousness, you operate from a position of inner abundance that naturally attracts external prosperity. You make decisions based on intuition and wisdom rather than fear and desperation. You create value before seeking profit. You serve others while serving yourself. You think in terms of expansion rather than limitation. This energy magnetizes money because you're operating from the same frequency as other successful individuals. You become someone that wealthy people want to partner with, invest in, and recommend to others. The transformation from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness involves reprogramming three critical areas of your mental operating system. First, your beliefs about money must shift from scarcity to abundance. Instead of believing that money is hard to earn and easy to lose, you must develop the conviction that money flows naturally to those who create genuine value. Instead of thinking that wealthy people are lucky or dishonest, you must recognize that financial success follows predictable principles that anyone can learn and apply. Instead of feeling guilty about wanting wealth, you must understand that financial abundance enables greater service to God and humanity. Second, your emotional relationship with money must transform from anxiety to appreciation. When you see your bank balance, you should feel gratitude for what you have rather than worry about what you lack. When you pay bills, you should experience thankfulness for the services received rather than resentment about the money spent. When you invest in your future, you should feel excitement about growth rather than fear about potential loss. Money responds to positive emotions because emotional energy is the fuel that powers manifestation. As it says in Ecclesiastes 11:1, "Cast your bread upon the waters, for after many days you will find it again." Third, your behavioral patterns must align with wealth rather than poverty. You must begin making decisions like a wealthy person would make, even before you have wealth. You must start treating yourself and others with the respect that prosperity requires. You must begin investing in assets that appreciate rather than liabilities that depreciate. You must develop habits of saving, investing, and value creation that compound over time. Your actions must demonstrate faith in your financial future rather than resignation to current limitations. This comprehensive transformation doesn't happen through willpower alone. It requires what Napoleon Hill called auto-suggestion, the practice of deliberately programming your subconscious mind with thoughts and images that support your financial objectives. Every morning, you must spend time visualizing yourself already living the abundant life you desire. See yourself making wise financial decisions, enjoying financial freedom, and using your wealth to bless others. Feel the emotions of gratitude, confidence, and joy that would naturally accompany financial success. Speak affirmations that reinforce your worthiness to receive abundance and your commitment to creating value in the world. The power of auto-suggestion works because your subconscious mind controls approximately 95% of your daily behavior. When you consciously program your subconscious with wealth-building thoughts and images, you begin automatically taking actions that support financial success. You start noticing opportunities that align with your goals. You develop intuitive insights about investments and business decisions. You attract mentors and partners who can accelerate your progress. Your entire behavioral system reorganizes itself around wealth creation rather than survival and struggle. Napoleon Hill emphasized that this mental programming must be backed by burning desire, an emotional intensity that makes your financial goals absolutely non-negotiable. This isn't casual wanting or wishful thinking. This is the kind of determination that refuses to accept anything less than total success. When you develop burning desire for financial abundance, obstacles become stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Setbacks become valuable learning experiences rather than reasons to quit. Criticism becomes motivation rather than discouragement. Your desire becomes so intense that the universe has no choice but to respond by providing the people, resources, and opportunities necessary for achievement. The Bible confirms this principle in Mark 11:24. Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours. This isn't metaphysical speculation. This is practical instruction for activating the creative power of your mind. When you believe with absolute certainty that financial abundance is your destiny, when you can feel the reality of prosperity in your consciousness before you see it in your circumstances, you activate forces that begin reshaping your external world to match your internal conviction. The most successful individuals Napoleon Hill studied had developed this quality of absolute faith in their financial destiny. They didn't hope to become wealthy. They knew they would become wealthy because their consciousness had been aligned with prosperity. They had eliminated doubt, fear, and uncertainty from their mental vocabulary regarding money. They approached every challenge with the confidence that their wealth consciousness would guide them to profitable solutions. This unshakable faith became a self-fulfilling prophecy that attracted the exact circumstances necessary for their financial dreams to manifest. The profound truth that emerges from Napoleon Hill's research is that wealth is not randomly distributed throughout society, but flows according to definite mental and spiritual laws that anyone can learn and apply. Jesus himself taught these principles in the parable of the talents found in Matthew 25:14-30, where those who wisely invested what they were given received even more, while the one who operated from fear and buried his talent lost even what he had. This story illustrates the fundamental law of increase. Abundance flows to those who operate from faith and wise action, while scarcity follows those who act from fear and limitation. Your current financial situation, regardless of how challenging it might appear, is not your financial destiny unless you choose to accept it as such. Every self-made millionaire began exactly where you are now, with a decision to transform their consciousness and align their thinking with prosperity rather than poverty. The difference between those who achieve financial freedom and those who remain financially bound is not luck, education, or even opportunity. It's the willingness to develop wealth consciousness through consistent mental discipline and unwavering faith in their ability to create abundance. The most critical understanding is that your mind operates like a garden. Whatever seeds you plant through your dominant thoughts will inevitably produce fruit in your external experience. When you plant seeds of poverty consciousness, thoughts of lack, limitation, fear, and unworthiness, you harvest a crop of financial struggle, missed opportunities, and frustrated dreams. But when you deliberately plant seeds of wealth consciousness, thoughts of abundance, possibility, confidence, and expectancy, you harvest a crop of financial success, abundant opportunities, and fulfilled dreams. As Galatians 6:7 reminds us, do not be deceived. God cannot be mocked. A man reaps what he sows. The transformation process begins with what Napoleon Hill called definiteness of purpose, which means getting crystal clear about exactly what level of wealth you intend to create and by what date you intend to achieve it. Vague desires produce vague results, but specific goals backed by burning desire and unwavering faith create the focused energy necessary for manifestation. You must write down your financial objectives with precise detail, the exact amount of money you intend to earn, the specific date by which you will achieve it, and the definite plan you will follow to make it happen. This written statement becomes your contract with destiny, your commitment to prosperity consciousness, your declaration of independence from financial limitation. Once you have established definiteness of purpose, you must develop what Hill called persistence, the quality that distinguishes winners from quitters, achievers from dreamers, millionaires from those who merely wish they were millionaires. Persistence doesn't mean stubborn attachment to failing strategies. It means unwavering commitment to your ultimate objective while remaining flexible about the methods you use to achieve it. When you encounter obstacles, persistence transforms them into stepping stones. When you face rejection, persistence converts it into redirection toward better opportunities. When you experience temporary defeat, persistence reveals the hidden lessons that lead to eventual victory. The Bible teaches us in 1 Corinthians 15:58, "Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm, let nothing move you. Always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain." This principle applies directly to wealth creation when you understand that developing prosperity consciousness is spiritual work that blesses both you and everyone whose life you touch through your increased capacity to serve, give, and create value in the world. Perhaps the most powerful principle Napoleon Hill discovered is the importance of what he called the master mind, surrounding yourself with individuals whose consciousness supports your financial objectives rather than undermines them. Your income will inevitably reflect the average income of the 5 people you spend the most time with, because their consciousness influences your consciousness through the law of mental osmosis. If you consistently associate with people who complain about money, make excuses for their financial situation, or believe that wealth is impossible for people like them, their limiting beliefs will gradually contaminate your thinking. But if you deliberately surround yourself with individuals who think abundantly, speak prosperously, and act from wealth consciousness, their elevated thinking will lift your consciousness to new levels of possibility. This doesn't mean you must abandon family and friends who don't share your financial ambitions, but it does mean you must consciously limit their influence on your thinking while actively seeking relationships with people whose success inspires your growth. Join investment clubs, attend entrepreneur meetups, participate in masterminds, read biographies of successful individuals, listen to podcasts that reinforce prosperity consciousness. Immerse your mind in an environment that supports wealth creation rather than poverty acceptance. The compound effect of these principle-based practices creates what Hill called the success habit, a mental momentum that makes achieving your financial objectives feel natural rather than forced. inevitable rather than impossible, enjoyable rather than stressful. When you consistently think thoughts that align with abundance, speak words that reinforce prosperity, associate with people who support your growth, and take actions that demonstrate faith in your financial future, you create an unstoppable force that attracts everything necessary for wealth creation. Remember, this isn't about becoming someone different. This is about becoming who you truly are when all limiting beliefs, poverty consciousness, and fear-based programming are removed from your thinking. God created you in His image and likeness, which means you possess unlimited creative potential. The universe is abundant by nature, containing more than enough resources for everyone to live prosperously. Your job is not to create abundance from nothing, but to align your consciousness with the abundance that already exists and allow it to flow through you into your experience. As we near the end of our journey together today, I want to speak directly to your heart. You've stayed with me through this entire exploration of wealth consciousness, which tells me something beautiful about your character. You're not looking for get-rich-quick schemes or empty promises. You understand that real transformation happens through the renewal of your mind and the alignment of your consciousness with prosperity principles. You're part of a rare group of people who are willing to do the inner work necessary for outer success. If these truths are stirring something deep within your soul, if you feel that quickening of possibility, that stirring of faith, then I want you to take action right now. Subscribe to this channel with intention, knowing that you're joining a community of like-minded individuals committed to living their highest potential. Leave a comment sharing your biggest insight from today's message. Your breakthrough might be exactly what someone else needs to hear. Share this video with others who are ready to step into prosperity consciousness. Together, we're creating a movement of minds aligned with abundance, hearts open to prosperity, and spirits ready to fulfill their divine potential. What specific step will you take today to begin operating from wealth consciousness rather than poverty consciousness? The ultimate realization that transforms everything is understanding that you are not separate from abundance. You are abundance itself, temporarily experiencing limitation through conditioned thinking. Napoleon Hill's greatest discovery was that wealth consciousness is not something you develop as much as it is something you remember, something you uncover, something you return to after years of programming that convinced you prosperity was for other people rather than for you. Every human being is born with infinite creative potential, unlimited capacity for value creation, and natural worthiness to receive abundance. The journey to wealth is actually a journey home to your authentic self. When Jesus said in John 10:10, "I have come that they might have life and have it more abundantly," He wasn't speaking only about spiritual abundance, but about every dimension of life, including physical, financial, and material prosperity. The abundant life includes financial freedom because money is simply a tool for expressing love, creating value, and serving others at higher levels. When you understand that wealth consciousness is actually spiritual consciousness applied to material matters, your entire relationship with money transforms from struggle to flow, from fear to faith, from limitation to liberation. The Bible teaches us in 3 John 1:2, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth." This verse reveals the divine intention for your life, prosperity that matches the development of your consciousness. As your soul prospers through understanding these principles, your external prosperity naturally follows. As your consciousness expands to accommodate wealth, your circumstances expand to reflect wealth. As your thinking aligns with abundance, your experience manifests abundance. This is not metaphysical theory, but practical spirituality that produces measurable results. Napoleon Hill discovered that the wealthiest individuals he studied had developed what he called cosmic consciousness. an awareness of their connection to infinite intelligence and unlimited resources. They didn't see themselves as separate from success, but as expressions of success. They didn't view wealth as something external to acquire, but as something internal to express. They understood that the same creative force that formed the universe was operating through their consciousness to produce whatever they consistently focused upon with faith and expectancy. This cosmic consciousness eliminates the struggle, stress, and strain that most people associate with wealth building, because you're no longer trying to force abundance from a position of lack. Instead, you're allowing abundance to flow through you from a position of alignment. You're not chasing money. You're attracting money by becoming the kind of person money seeks. You're not competing with others for limited resources. You're collaborating with the universe to create unlimited value. You're not working harder. You're working from a higher level of consciousness that makes everything easier and more effective. The practical application of these principles begins with a fundamental shift in your daily mental diet. Instead of consuming news, entertainment, and conversations that reinforce limitation and scarcity, you must deliberately feed your mind with content that strengthens prosperity consciousness. Read books about successful individuals. Listen to podcasts that discuss wealth building. Watch videos that inspire financial growth. Engage in conversations that elevate your thinking. Your mind becomes what it regularly consumes, so consuming abundance-focused content gradually transforms your consciousness from poverty to prosperity. Every morning when you awaken, before checking your phone or engaging with external demands, spend the first 30 minutes of your day programming your consciousness for wealth. Begin with gratitude for the abundance you already have, no matter how small it might seem. Gratitude is the frequency of abundance, so starting your day with appreciation immediately aligns your consciousness with prosperity. Visualize your ideal financial future with vivid detail and genuine emotion. See yourself making wise financial decisions, enjoying financial freedom, and using your wealth to bless others. Feel the emotions of confidence, peace, and joy that would naturally accompany financial success. Throughout your day, monitor your internal dialogue and consciously choose thoughts that support wealth rather than poverty. When you catch yourself thinking thoughts of lack, limitation, or fear regarding money, immediately replace them with thoughts of abundance, possibility, and faith. This isn't positive thinking. This is consciousness programming based on Napoleon Hill's scientific research. Your dominant thoughts create your reality. So taking conscious control of your thinking is taking conscious control of your destiny. In the evening, before sleep, review your day from the perspective of wealth consciousness. Identify moments when you thought, spoke, or acted from prosperity consciousness and appreciate yourself for those choices. Recognize moments when you operated from poverty consciousness and commit to choosing differently in similar future situations. End each day with affirmations that reinforce your worthiness to receive abundance and your commitment to creating value in the world. As Proverbs 3:24 promises, "When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet." The compound effect of these daily practices creates what Hill called the success habit, a mental momentum that makes prosperity feel natural rather than forced. When you consistently align your consciousness with abundance through disciplined mental practices, you begin automatically attracting opportunities, relationships, and resources that support your financial objectives. This isn't magic. This is the natural result of operating from wealth consciousness rather than poverty consciousness. Remember that every self-made millionaire began with a decision to transform their thinking and align their consciousness with prosperity. They weren't born with special advantages, superior intelligence, or magical abilities. They simply learned and applied the principles of wealth consciousness that you now understand. The same infinite intelligence that guided their success is available to guide your success when you operate from the same frequency of abundance, faith, and expectancy. As we conclude this transformative journey together, I want you to understand that everything changes from this moment forward. You now possess the knowledge that can transform your financial reality if you apply it consistently with faith and persistence. You understand that wealth is not about external acquisition, but internal alignment. You recognize that money responds to consciousness, not just effort. You know that abundance is your birthright when you think, feel, and act from prosperity consciousness rather than poverty consciousness. The question now is not whether these principles work. Napoleon Hill proved they work through decades of research with hundreds of successful individuals. The question is whether you will work the principles. Will you commit to transforming your consciousness? Will you persist through the temporary challenges that test your faith? Will you maintain your vision when others doubt your dreams? Will you operate from abundance when circumstances suggest limitation? Your answers to these questions will determine your financial destiny, because wealth consciousness is not a destination you reach, but a journey you live every day through the power of your choices. The Bible promises us in Romans 8:28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Trust that your desire for financial abundance is actually God calling you to fulfill your highest purpose through the vehicle of prosperity. Embrace the journey of wealth consciousness, knowing that every step forward brings you closer to the abundant life you were created to live. The universe is conspiring to support your success when you align your consciousness with the principles of abundance that govern all genuine prosperity.